In the quiet town of São Miguel, a dark mystery surrounds a lake that hides ancient secrets and unexplained disappearances. In this video, you'll follow the story of Lucio and Ana, childhood friends who embark on a risky investigation into a vengeful spirit that haunts the area. What really happened to the people who vanished? Could Ana's curiosity lead them to a terrible fate? Throughout the story, you'll uncover moral dilemmas that put their friendship to the test and witness what happens when you mess with forces beyond our understanding. Get ready to dive deep into a gripping narrative full of twists and emotions. By the end, you'll realize that some legends are more real than we imagine and that truth can come at a steep price. Stay with us and discover the echoes that haunt the night. The Lake of São Miguel is known for its serene beauty. Its calm waters reflect the blue sky and the lush vegetation that surrounds it, creating a setting straight out of a fairy tale. Yet behind this idyllic image lies a shadow of mystery and tragedy. Stories of unexplained disappearances haunt the area, and an ancient legend echoes among the townspeople. There's far more beneath the surface than meets the eye, and that's exactly what sparks both curiosity and concern in those who know its history. At the beginning of the last century, a young man named Miguel vanished without a trace after approaching the lake. He was known in the community for his adventurous spirit and his habit of exploring the area. On that fateful day, Miguel decided to head to the lake, drawn in by a strange light dancing above the water. His family searched for days, but he was never found. The pain of his absence is still felt by those who knew him, and his story has become woven into the legends surrounding the Lake of São Miguel. But what really happened to him? That's the question that continues to intrigue many and sets off a web of mysteries. Miguel's tale isn't an isolated case. Over the years, others have disappeared into those same waters, deepening the ominous aura that surrounds the lake. Stories of whispering voices and shadows moving between the trees are common among locals. For many, the lake is a place of beauty, but also a warning. It has become a symbol of life's duality, peace that may conceal danger. That duality is one of the reasons Ana, a bold and curious young woman, feels drawn to the lake. Since childhood, she's heard the stories and has felt an uncontrollable urge to uncover the truth. Ana is a dreamer, always yearning to unravel mysteries and see beyond what's visible. Her childhood friend Lucio, on the other hand, is more cautious. He values safety and logic, always wary of what could go wrong if they decide to explore the lake. But Ana's determination is infectious, and little by little, Lucio finds himself swept up in the adventure. They begin to discuss the disappearance stories and the feeling that something supernatural lingers around the lake. But as they plan their investigation, doubt begins to creep in. Are they truly ready to face whatever lies beneath those waters? The waters of Lake São Miguel aren't just a backdrop, they're a character in their own right, holding the secrets of all who dared to venture there. This journey isn't just about finding out what happened to Miguel or the others who vanished. It's also about what stirs within Ana and Lucio, how the search for truth can test their friendship and lead to difficult choices. The quest for answers is a path that might change everything. As they explore the lake, Ana and Lucio come across forgotten objects, traces of lives once present. Each discovery not only sheds light on the lake's mystery, but also raises questions about their own lives and the nature of truth. They're not just solving a puzzle, they're confronting their fears and desires. What really lies in the depths of Lake São Miguel? That's the question pushing them forward, even as darkness draws near. They may be about to uncover something that will change their lives forever, but at what cost? Lucio and Ana had been inseparable since childhood, growing up together on the quiet streets of São Miguel. While Lucio had always been the more cautious one, Ana stood out for her boundless curiosity. As kids, they explored every corner of the town, but there was one place that always sparked Ana's imagination: Lake São Miguel. The lake's serene beauty contrasted sharply with the stories of disappearances that circulated among the townsfolk. Anna, fascinated by the legends, began to dream of uncovering what truly lurked beneath the surface of that seemingly calm water. Anna's curiosity wasn't just a childhood phase, it was a fire that burned intensely within her. She needed to uncover the truth behind the dark stories surrounding the lake. But what would happen if that search led her down a dangerous path? And what if the bond she shared with Lucio was pushed beyond its limits? The growing tension between them was palpable, creating an open loop that left the audience eager to know what would happen next. One night, after hearing yet another tale about a young man who vanished at the lake, Anna decided it was time to act. She convinced Lucio to join her on an investigation. Armed with flashlights, courage, and unwavering determination, the two friends made their way to the lake, hearts pounding. As they walked along the shore, Anna found personal belongings embedded in the sand: a broken watch, a worn leather bracelet. These artifacts, silent witnesses to a tragic past, only deepened the tension and mystery of the night. What could these objects reveal about the disappearances? That was the question racing through her mind, opening another loop that sparked the audience's curiosity. As their investigation progressed, Anna began to experience strange sensations, visions, fragments of memories that didn't belong to her, yet felt eerily familiar, as if from another time. Lucio, increasingly worried, questioned her mental state. He found himself torn between loyalty to Anna and the instinct to protect her. This emotional tension created space for reflection on friendship and courage. What was really going on inside Anna's mind? Was it merely curiosity driving her, or something deeper, a connection to the souls lingering over the lake? This uncertainty formed another compelling loop, pulling viewers deeper into the character's psyche. Anna, more and more drawn to the mystery, began to see the lake as a riddle waiting to be solved, while Lucio grew increasingly cautious. The contrast between the two friends intensified, leading to disagreements and arguments. Their pursuit of the truth was straining the limits of their friendship. What would happen if Anna couldn't pull herself away from the lake? And what if Lucio decided to abandon the search out of fear of what they might uncover? These questions built a growing anticipation, keeping the audience on the edge of their seats. As the story unfolded, Anna and Lucio's journey reflected an inner struggle between the desire to uncover the truth and the need to protect the relationships that matter most. Through their experiences, the audience is led to question how far they would go for a mystery and what sacrifices they'd be willing to make in the name of friendship. The lake, with its calm yet shadowy waters, became a symbol of the hidden truths we all face in life, challenging us to reflect on what it really means to seek the truth. This emotional climax leaves viewers with a sense of urgency and a hunger to know what fate awaits Anna and Lucio. Driven by curiosity and a yearning to uncover the truth behind the mysteries of Lake São Miguel, Anna and Lucio decided to begin their investigation. Equipped with flashlights and a brave heart, they ventured toward the lake's edge, where the still surface seemed to hide something much deeper. What they didn't realize was that each step they took toward revelation was also drawing them closer to a darker reality. As they walked, the atmosphere around them grew heavier. The scent of damp earth blended with the smell of thick vegetation, creating a feeling that something was about to happen. In the dim light, they began finding personal items that had once belonged to the missing: a silver bracelet, a framed photograph, a small, weathered diary. Each object held a story, a fragment of a life now lost forever. These discoveries made Anna's heart race, while Lucio felt a chill run down his spine. What could these items reveal about what had truly happened at the lake? As Anna examined the bracelet, she remembered a story she had once heard at school about a young man who had vanished after a fight with his friends near the lake. That memory sent her mind spinning with questions. What had drawn that boy toward the water? Was there more to the place than just a picturesque landscape? And what if the objects they had found were keys to uncovering the truth behind the disappearances? The tension was rising, and Lucio, ever the cautious one, began to wonder whether it was wise to keep going. Anna, however, was growing more determined by the minute. Her pull toward the mystery of the lake was unstoppable, while Lucio wrestled with his instinct to protect her. It felt as if Anna's curiosity was constantly clashing with Lucio's fear. The dynamic between them was shifting, forcing them to question their friendship itself. What mattered more, discovering the truth or protecting one another? That doubt lingered in the air, casting a veil of uncertainty over their every move. During their investigation, they stumbled upon the remnants of an abandoned campsite. A cold, extinguished fire pit and torn tents seemed to whisper of people who had come before them. What had happened to those people? Why hadn't they returned? With each new discovery, their anxiety grew, and the urge to solve the mystery became nearly overwhelming. But one question echoed louder than the rest. How far were they willing to go to find the truth? Amid the growing tension, Lucio began to feel that things were spiraling out of control. He tried to convince Anna to stop, to walk away before it was too late. But she was resolute. The lake had a hold on her that she couldn't explain, as if it were calling her to uncover its buried history. It stirred in her a sense of urgency, a need to move forward, even if it meant risking the friendship she had always treasured with Lucio. As their investigation deepened, the line between curiosity and danger grew increasingly thin. Whatever they were about to uncover had the potential to change their lives forever. And so, with each step into the darkness, the question persisted. What could these objects reveal about what really happened at Lake San Miguel? The answer was closer than they imagined, but it carried a shadow that might consume not only their hopes for truth, but also the very bond that had kept them together. Anna and Lucio pressed on into the dense forest surrounding the lake, moonlight filtering through the branches and casting shifting shadows all around them. The night was silent, but a heavy tension filled the air, as if nature itself were holding its breath. As they walked, Anna began to feel something different, a presence that sent a shiver down her spine. She had always had sharp instincts, but this was more than that. It was as if something were calling to her, drawing her nearer to the dark waters. As they neared the shoreline, Anna experienced her first visions. Images of unfamiliar faces flashed in her mind, accompanied by whispers too faint to understand. She saw a young man, lost, desperate, trying to escape from something he couldn't comprehend. Lucio, noticing the change in Anna's expression, was overtaken by concern. What was happening to his friend? He tried to make sense of it, but logic had no place in the face of her visions. The atmosphere was thick with mystery and dread. The tension between them escalated. Lucio, ever the voice of caution, urged that they abandon the investigation, that some mysteries were better left buried. But Anna, now enthralled and consumed by the need to uncover the truth, felt increasingly drawn to the lake's waters, as if an invisible force were calling her. "You don't understand, Lucio. We have to know what happened," she cried, her voice sharp with emotion, revealing the growing strain between them. Meanwhile, Anna's visions grew more intense. She began seeing flashes of past events, a party by the lakeshore, laughter and music followed by screams and panic. These images were accompanied by a deep sense of pain and injustice, as if the echoes of a tragedy still lingered in the lake's calm waters. Lucio, on the other hand, was struggling with fear. He wanted to protect Anna, but didn't want to come off as someone who didn't believe in her. The situation reached a boiling point. In a moment of frustration, Lucio shouted, "Anna, this isn't real. You're imagining things." His words cut like a knife, and Anna, hurt, replied, "What if it were you in my place? What would you do? Ignore the voices asking for help?" This exchange not only tested their friendship, but also heightened the moral dilemma they were facing. What mattered more, the truth or the safety of their bond? The next day, determined to better understand what was happening, they spoke with an elderly villager who knew the lake's stories like the back of his hand. He spoke of an old injustice that had taken place by the water's edge, where innocent people had been wrongfully accused and disappeared without a trace. The old man looked Anna in the eyes and said, "The waters keep secrets, young lady. Sometimes what we seek may cost us more than we're willing to pay." That revelation left Anna deep in thought. What did she truly want? To uncover the lake's truth or protect the friendship she held so dear? The weight of responsibility began to settle in her heart, and the visions were no longer just a calling, they were a warning. By the end of their conversation, Anna and Lucio were more aware than ever that their actions had consequences, and that the search for the truth might not only change their lives, but also bring to light what had long been buried beneath the surface of the lake. And so, their journey became more complex. What had begun as mere curiosity had now become a test of courage and loyalty, a dilemma that could change everything. They had to decide whether to face the unknown together or go their separate ways, afraid of the truths they might uncover. And so the story continued, with new questions emerging at every step they took toward the lake, increasingly aware that what they found might not just be a mystery, but a terrifying reality. As Lucio and Ana delved deeper into the mysteries of Lake São Miguel, they encountered stories from longtime residents that revealed dark and unsettling secrets about the origins of the disappearances. Their conversation with an elderly local who had lived in the area for decades became a turning point in their journey. He spoke of how, in the past, a great tragedy had struck the community, leading to injustices that still echoed through the lake's waters. His voice carried the weight of experience, and his eyes reflected the sorrow of a past that many preferred to forget. He spoke of a forbidden love between two young people from rival families, a passion that was brutally cut short by an act of vengeance. The spirit of the young woman who never had the chance to find peace now haunts the lake, luring in those who come too close to its waters. This revelation strikes Ana deeply. She sees herself reflected in the girl's story and feels an urgent need to seek justice, not only for the lost soul, but also for herself. Lucio, meanwhile, is increasingly concerned for his friend's safety and tries to persuade her to let the mystery go, but Anna's determination only grows stronger. This moment of revelation becomes a turning point in the story. Not only does it bring the injustice of the past into the light, but it also forces both friends to reflect on what it truly means to search for the truth. Ana, now deeply invested, realizes the investigation is about more than solving a mystery. It's about confronting the past and understanding the consequences of their action. What they uncover about the lake goes far beyond urban legends. It's a call to action, a chance to make things right. The emotional intensity, combined with the thirst for justice, keeps the audience on the edge of their seats, eager to see what will happen next. As they dive deeper into the stories of the past, a tangible tension sets in between the two friends. Lucio finds himself torn between the desire to protect Ana and the need to face what lies beneath the lake's surface. This internal conflict mirrors a much larger struggle, the one between curiosity and fear, between friendship and the need to move forward. The audience empathizes with Lucio, who represents reason and caution, but also with Ana, who embodies the relentless pursuit of truth. While speaking with the old villager, he mentions that the disappearances might be the spirit's way of seeking recognition and revenge. The thought stirs a whirlwind of emotions and questions. Are they truly ready to face the unknown? What if the truth is darker than they ever imagined? The story deepens here, pushing the audience to reflect on their own experiences with courage and the need to face fear in order to find truth. By the end of that conversation, Ana and Lucio had gained more than just valuable information. They had also become more aware that their actions carried real consequences. The weight of truth becomes a central theme, and the revelation of the lake's secrets challenges everything they thought they knew about friendship and loyalty. This moment transforms them, leading them to question not only what they're willing to do for the sake of a mystery, but also what it means for the future of their bond. Their journey, filled with revelations and moral dilemmas, continues to unfold, keeping the audience eager for what comes next. Ana and Lucio were about to confront what many believed to be nothing more than a legend, but they knew the truth behind Lake São Miguel was far darker. With flashlights in hand and hearts racing, they ventured deeper into the surrounding darkness, determined to face the spirit that haunted the lake. The night was still, and the water mirrored the moonlight, creating a scene that was almost magical, yet unmistakably haunting. As they neared the shoreline, a thick fog began to form, wrapping around them like a cold embrace. Ana, fueled by both courage and curiosity, felt a strange presence, an energy pulling her toward the water. Lucio, though equally afraid, hesitated, worried about what they might uncover. Caught in the middle of this inner conflict, it was Ana who took the lead. "We need to find the truth," she said with a conviction that defied the fear they both felt. And yet, one question still lingered in the air. What if this search for truth led them to a place from which there was no return? As they stepped into the water, a wave of cold shot through their bodies, and the atmosphere around them grew increasingly oppressive. Anna began to have visions. Images of former residents of the lake filled her mind, stories of pain and vengeance echoing from the water's depth. Lucio tried to rationalize what was happening, but the unease kept growing. "Anna, this could be dangerous. We have to stop," he pleaded. But Anna was entranced, drawn in by a force that seemed to transcend logic. The deeper they went, the heavier the air became, and Anna's visions grew more vivid. She saw faces of those who had disappeared, their expressions full of despair and longing. The spirit of the lake wasn't merely a guardian of secrets. It was a tormented soul, seeking justice for a wrong that time had never healed. With each vision, Anna felt more connected to the lake's story, while Lucio felt more powerless, torn between his desire to protect Anna and the need to understand what was unfolding before them. The climax came when Anna, in a moment of bravery, called out the spirit's name. She shouted into the silence, challenging the presence that surrounded them. The water began to stir, and a misty figure started to take shape before their eyes. It was a spirit, but not a malevolent one. It was a lost soul yearning for release. "Why have you come?" the spirit asked, her voice like a whisper rolling with the waves. Lucio, gripped by fear, wanted to run, but Anna, determined to help, realized that the only way forward was to face the truth head-on. Moral questions emerged. Should they try to right a past injustice or escape from something they couldn't comprehend? Anna sensed the answer was right in front of them, while Lucio hesitated, torn between reason and emotion. This moment was not just a test of bravery, it was a true transformation. Their friendship hung in the balance, and the choice they made could change everything. At the end of the confrontation, when the spirit finally found peace, Anna and Lucio were left facing a new reality, one shaped by a deeper understanding of friendship and the consequences of their choices. The weight of truth settled between them, and the lingering question was, could they live with what they had discovered and preserve the bond they cherished? This experience had changed them, and the journey that began with curiosity had become a profound test of loyalty and courage. Their search for answers had unearthed not only the lake's secrets, but truths about themselves and what it truly means to face the unknown. After confronting the spirit of the lake, Lucio and Anna are faced with a truth that changes their lives forever. What once seemed like a simple investigation turns into a deep plunge into the consequences of their actions. Now they carry the weight of what they uncovered, and the experience forces them to reflect on the nature of friendship, courage, and the choices we make. The emotions that surface after this encounter are intense. Lucio, always the cautious one, is overwhelmed with guilt. He wonders if he should have supported Anna more fully in her search, if their friendship would have remained intact had he been braver. Anna, on the other hand, feels a mix of excitement and fear. The lake's revelations brought not only answers, but a new understanding of what it truly means to seek the truth. She realizes that curiosity, while powerful, can have consequences far beyond what she ever imagined. This moment of reflection is crucial. Together with the spirit they confronted, Lucio and Anna came face to face with an injustice long buried in silence. The tale of revenge told by the elderly villager struck a deep chord. They learned that legends often stem from real, painful events, and that the pursuit of truth can reopen wounds we thought had healed. Their courage to face the unknown unearthed not only the mystery of the lake, but also the moral complexities surrounding it. Their experience is a clear example of the hero's journey, where each character undergoes significant transformation. Lucio, who began as a hesitant friend, now sees himself as someone capable of making tough decisions and confronting his fears. Anna, meanwhile, evolves from a curious adventurer into someone who fully understands the responsibility that comes with knowledge. They become more than just friends. They become allies in the pursuit of justice and understanding. But what did they truly learn about themselves and about friendship? The truth is, their time at the lake taught them that real friendship is forged in moments of crisis. They discovered that while the search for truth is vital, respecting forces we do not fully understand is just as important. What was at stake was not only solving a mystery, but defining who they are as friends and as individuals. After the confrontation, they realized that the bond they shared was tested but not broken. In fact, their experiences brought them closer together as they now carry a shared understanding of life's fragility and the importance of supporting one another. Their friendship is no longer just about laughter and adventure. It's now also about facing the unknown side by side and learning from the lessons that life and the lake have to offer. At the end of their journey, Lucio and Anna saw themselves in a new light. They were no longer just two friends in search of answers. They had become protagonists of their own stories, now armed with the knowledge that truth can be terrifying, but also liberating. The Lake of São Miguel, with its legends and mysteries, had become a symbol of their journey. And now, as they looked out over those calm waters, they understood that the search for answers is a vital part of life, but that friendship and respect must always be the compass that guides their decision. After confronting the spirit haunting the Lake of São Miguel, Lucio and Anna realized that the truth they uncovered came at a high cost. As the lake's still waters settled, the reality of what they had witnessed began to sink in. They hadn't just solved a mystery, they had touched something far deeper, the complexities of friendship and the price of seeking truth. That inner transformation led them to reflect on the true implications of their actions. With the revelation of past injustices, their friendship had been tested in ways they never imagined. What started as a simple adventure had become a journey that challenged their beliefs and values. Lucio, always cautious, began to question whether the pursuit of truth was worth the risk. Anna, on the other hand, felt an almost uncontrollable need to understand and make right the wrongs of the past. This fundamental difference in their personalities brought to light a moral dilemma. Should they continue searching, even if it meant putting their friendship in danger? Through the harrowing experience at the lake, both came to understand that the unknown forces they faced weren't just external, they were also within. The spirit haunting the lake became a metaphor for their own fears and insecurities. Lucio, fearful of the unknown, was forced to confront his inner demons, while Anna, driven by curiosity, had to face the consequences of her impulsive choices. This dynamic offered a new perspective on what it truly means to be a friend and to support one another in times of crisis. As they reflected on what they had learned, Lucio and Anna realized that truth, while valuable, can carry an emotional toll. They came to understand that friendship is a bond forged through adversity, but one that also requires care and respect. The experience at the lake taught them that sometimes it's better to leave certain truths buried, especially when they might bring pain to the ones we love. This lesson struck deep, shaping a more mature understanding of life and friendship. After the experience, Lucio and Anna chose to share their story and reflections with others, hoping to help them avoid the same mistakes. They became advocates for respecting the unknown and recognizing that legends often have roots in deep, painful truths. This new mission brought them even closer as they realized that by sharing what they'd been through, they were not only healing themselves, but also encouraging others to reflect on their own choices. The final message Lucio and Anna wished to leave behind was clear. The pursuit of truth is a journey that can be both enriching and dangerous. They urged those who listened to them to respect the legends and the history behind them, understanding that every guarded mystery has its reasons, and that sometimes it's wiser to leave what is sacred undisturbed. At the end of their story, they left one lingering question: what would you do in their place? This question doesn't just provoke thought, it invites the audience into a conversation about the consequences of curiosity and the enduring importance of friendship.